moving. Welcome back to another video. We are currently moving to the next field. We finished the mile-long rows on Saturday. Today is now Monday. We're just heading a couple of miles down the road. Got another 120 acres right here.
I bought a new gun yesterday. I was very tempted.
And we also got a test plot here, a few different seed varieties. So the Phytogen guys, they're gonna come out and take a look at it. So I'm pretty excited for that. We'll see what variety kind of does the best. Kind of curious. So yeah, I think we might be able to start as soon as we get to the field. We'll knock it out pretty quickly and then we'll have to move to another 120 acres. All right, getting back to it. Yeah, this field's definitely not gonna do as good as the previous field. You can also tell that it doesn't look as white as the previous field, and that's due to still a few leaves being on the plant. Some of the burrs or the cotton bolls aren't completely open. They're open, but they're not completely open. So that's why it looks a little bit browner, not so white. But still okay cotton, not too bad. Right there to my left, that's what the test plot is. You can kind of see the different colors and varieties. So I'm kind of curious how that'll do. Whenever the Phytogen guys come over here, then we'll head over to that test plot and take a look at how that works. And looks like they're here. Looks like now we're gonna start that test plot. Howdy, how y'all guys doing? You like my hat?
Love it. I love it, yeah.
Wearing the Phytogen hat today. Love it. Test plot time. Let's see which variety will do the best. So currently what we're doing, we're just going down the field until I get about an 80-inch bale, and then it weighs it. Well, we write down the weight, and then we also write down the linear feet that we drove, and then later they'll take samples and gin it at a smaller gin. We'll get the grades back. But as for now, we can kind of see on our iPad kind of how things look, how things are doing. This experimental variety though, it looks kind of good. There's a lot more green on there than some of the previous ones. I'm liking more green. The one right beside here though, that one looks a lot whiter. That one looks really good too. Kind of curious how that one's gonna do. There's a lot more leaves on this variety than on any of the other ones. That's crazy. That might make the cotton just a little bit dirtier. Last variety of the day. And now that we're done with the test plot, now what they'll do, they'll now take samples. Hey, whoa, you're not supposed to be running DeWalt, you're supposed to be running Milwaukee. What's up with that?
This matches with the wrap, you know?
I mean, I guess it's yellow and yellow, but still, I like to see the red. Taking samples from every single bale, and then we'll get a nice gin sample later. And back to the stripping of regular cotton. So I talked with them, and what they're gonna do now, they took a little sample from every single bale that I made, and they put it in a bag. They got maybe about 5-10 pounds, give or take. They're gonna gin that separately in their own little ginner that they made. It's very close to, it basically resembles the actual gin where our cotton goes to. So they're gonna hand gin it, they're gonna grade it, see what it actually looks like, come back with some more results, and then we'll be able to see exactly which one did the best. Because one cotton might yield the best, but it could have way more trash in there, and the grades themselves could be far down, and the fibers could not be as good as some of the other ones. So once they're done with their whole process, and they'll let us know, and then we'll be able to see exactly which cotton did the best. And then and we'll know exactly what kind of cotton we really want to plant next year to see what kind of works best for out this area. So it's kind of neat, pretty cool. It was a lot of fun. Do appreciate them for coming out. So yeah, now we're back to our stripping our own cotton again. Well, we did do our own cotton, but somewhat basically what the rest of the field is planted in. And it's gonna be another late one. But you wanna know what? It's not even late. It's only 6:30 and it's dark. Like, what even is this? This time change really messes with you. It is annoying, I tell you what. Because it's dark, pitch black. Now we're supposed to work for like another 5 hours. This is ridiculous. This feels weird. I don't like this time change. And this field is just about done. Well, actually it is done. And I just barely made a tiny little bale. Just barely dropped it. Now I believe we're gonna go into transport mode and go to the next field. So I'm just waiting for my hander to get back up. Disengage all of this. And then I need to fold it into transport mode. But before I do any of that, I have to put it in transport mode with the remote. But look at this tiny little bale that I made. It's so cute and tiny. It's a tiny little bale. You could roll it with your hand if you wanted to. It's cute and tiny. But we're gonna clean it off just a little bit, just to get the moving parts cleaned up before I put it in transport mode. Just that way it works a little bit better with folding and unfolding. The big part is also, you know, like to keep the catwalk a little bit cleaner, kind of kick it off. There's a little bit right here, especially here where it folds up. Plus I need to just that lever down or else it can't fold up, or unfold should I say. And then just kind of clean this off a bit. It's about good. Gonna go up here. There's a couple of moving parts here, like this area right here. Kind of clean off this a little bit, and then I'll put it in transport mode. Everything's lowered, basket even lowers. Now we're ready to get out of here. Let's put that into road gear. Let's throttle it up. Let's go. Back to the field where we left today morning. Just driving around it to get to one of our other fields. We just got to go back around this way about another half a mile, and then there's the next field. Next field right here. But we're gonna
Look at the tailor hasn't showed up in a while. Kind of making me a little bit scared.
He's talking about trying to find a buck to shoot this year for deer season. But there's the field right here. We're gonna strip here in just a little bit. We're just gonna head to the truck real quick and get ourselves something to drink, and then we'll come back here and get back at it. Yeah, now we're back to some more not so decent cotton. Back to some 5 mile an hour cotton, or as fast as my hydro handle can go forward in first gear, because I do not want to go in second gear because it's way too sensitive. But at least we're stripping cotton. I feel like this field should go by pretty quickly for going 5 miles an hour. Yeah, now just waiting for the pivot to move out of the way. I thought I was on the other half, but turns out I was on this half, so now it's stuck in our way. I already turned the pivot on with my phone, so it should be going left out of my way. It's almost out of the way. It needs a couple more feet, and then we should be back up and rolling again. But as for now, I'll just park here and wait a little bit. Well, that's a mess. I don't work for a day, and this is what I come back to? Ridiculous. Look at all that cotton just Ridiculous. If you're wondering why it wasn't working for a day, I actually was sick yesterday. Had some sort of stomach bug. Don't know where I got it from, but stomach was kind of feeling a little upset, started throwing up and stuff like that, so I wasn't working yesterday. But back here now, they got a nice big pile of cotton here. Lots of cotton all over the place. But what happened, from what I've been told, the feeder belt broke. So that's the kind of issue we're having here now. I believe the accumulator is still full, so there's a lot of cotton still left in there. But we're gonna have to replace the feeder belt. I think the reason why it ripped, because this is the stripper that had a fire a couple years, 2 years ago, I think. So because of that fire, it kind of burnt the belt a little bit. So that's kind of where it started to rip and broke it completely. Haven't found the feeder belt here somewhere. I was kind of looking around to see if I could find it. I think that's it right there. I'm gonna walk around here. I think I actually see it down there. Yeah, that looks like it right there. Yeah, you can tell right here there kind of was a little bit of a fire, melted it here, and then a couple of other kind of got heated up from underneath from a couple of years ago, and then that's where it just started to rip. But a new one has been ordered, so I believe it should be here soon today morning. We'll get it put back together, fixed, and we should be ready to go again. New feeder belt. Man, it's getting windy. Got the new one on for the most part. Now we just gotta loosen it on that end. Now we can push it here just a little bit further and then connect it here, and then we should be good to go again. Well, then we gotta tighten it. There's marks on here on how far we need to tighten it and everything, and then we should be good to go. Meter belt has been now fixed, and we also replaced one of the baler belts. I guess somewhere in the process of the feeder belt ripping, it kind of tore off a piece of the baler belt, so we replaced that one while we were at it. So now that everything is fixed, it's only 11 o'clock, so wasn't that terribly long of a breakdown. At least it wasn't more than a day, but I'll get back at it and hopefully no more issues for the rest of the day. I tell you what, these sure are some nice long rows, because this is circle track and we are on a half miler, which means that if we were to have the rows straight, they would be mile-long rows. And since they're in a circle, and it's a big circle, then on the outside you have about a 2.5 mile long row. It's not a full circle. There's a little pie that we had peanuts and not cotton. So if we would have the full thing cotton with the full circle all the way around with these rows, it'd be like 3.1 mile or something like that. So now we got 2.5 mile long rows, which is pretty crazy, and that's a lot of fun when going such a long distance before actually finally having to turn around. Pretty cool. Man, this field sure feels like it's going by a lot quicker now. Now that we got the outside of the field done, or majority of it is, and we're moving closer to the inside of the field, the rounds are a lot shorter, so it feels like you're turning around a lot more often, a lot more frequently. It feels like it's going by a whole lot faster than what it was before. Also got me a nice little puddle right here. Kind of drowned the cotton out, so cotton wasn't able to grow through any of this. So there's a big area here where there's a whole lot of nothing. Got myself a nice valley track right here. Good thing it's on my 5th row, not my row guidance row, but every now and then there's a little bit of cotton here. The valley track is like right beside the row, so every now and then it'll kill all the cotton, and next time it leaves it completely alone. But nonetheless, we are not done for today just yet, but I'm gonna stop right here. It looks like the middle of the field, but it's not, I promise. We got a little road here. we're gonna head back to the barn and then refill in some wrap. So I'm gonna quit it right there. Now we're gonna head back to the barn, load up a few rolls of wrap. I am not completely empty. I still got 16 wraps left, but I am on my last roll. So I'm gonna load up 4 rolls for myself, and then my cousin will load up 5 rolls since he is completely empty. Back to it. I'm sure getting low on that DEF and diesel. Probably should have filled up today morning, but I thought a 3/4 tank of diesel was gonna last me all day, but now it's not looking like it. Plus, now I'm trying to fix a corrupted file issue on the next YouTube video. I had a video, it was kind of the end of the video, but it ended up being corrupted, and all you kind of saw was just a blank screen. So now I'm trying to fix that where I can still keep the audio, but might just do a cutaway or give something like that where it's not just all weird looking. But yeah, struggles. Serviced and ready to go for tomorrow. The only thing I'm gonna do now is just clean my air filter real quick, and then tomorrow morning the only thing I need to do yet is replace a few saws in here. I've seen quite a few broken ones in here from a few rocks getting in the jinner here, so definitely gonna bring with a few saws tomorrow morning, replace a few of those, and I should be good to go again. Let's get back to it. Just as I was about to, have a good start to the day and start stripping some cotton again, I'm having an issue. I don't know what the issue is. I don't know. After replacing the feeder belt is turning. When I look down here and I look at the feeder belt, that is turning. But for some reason, the cotton isn't feeding in. You can see the cotton right here. The cotton is supposed to be feeding into the baler and it's not. So I don't know what the issue is. I don't know if there's cotton clogged up in there, but I'm gonna have to maybe take it apart, or not take it apart, maybe undo the baler, maybe take a look inside. I don't think there's a lot of cotton in this, so it's not gonna be a whole big of a waste, but we'll have to mess around with this a little bit and see if we can figure out an issue. Well, that made a mess. We're gonna try to just do it manually now. We couldn't find an issue besides it just being clogged. I think we're gonna try to do it manually now to see if it'll continue on. If not, I don't know. This stripper just seems to have a few issues nowadays. I don't know what's going on. Well, we can't figure out an issue. We just manually emptied out the basket, so it worked fine then when we did it manually. So guess we'll keep driving, keep an eye on it, and if it happens again, we'll have another big mess on our hands. But I don't know what to tell you. It's weird, man, it's weird. I don't know, it must have been a glitch. It's working now. It shows the belt and the beater rolls are turning. That's what those 2 little marks right there are for. So I don't know what to tell you. Works fine now. Must have been just a little glitch in the morning, maybe. Some cotton decided to get stuck and didn't want to feed in there properly. I don't know, it's the first time I've ever had an issue like that. That's never happened to me before. It's weird, but it works fine now. I ain't complaining, so we're back to rolling. Well, I did it again. And I don't know what the problem is, but I parked here by the old pile just in case I have to do it again. That way I at least know I can just dump it out where, yeah, it's all packed again. Yeah, it's all clogged. All this cotton back here, yeah, it's all clogged. This is not turning into a great day. But still can't figure out a problem. There's no bearings out. I've checked all the bearings. It's not a bearing issue. Don't know what else it could be, but guess we'll just keep just trying to figure it out until eventually we just decide to give up, I guess. Aha! Yes! I found the problem. I'm so freaking excited. Look at this. All it is just an idler right back there. And it's completely loose. I bet you that's the problem. And I'm gonna put my money on it. If I found it, I'm excited. I love it. But still taking this cotton off of here. That's a pain. It's a lot of kicking and it's a mess. We would need like a little miniature version of a module builder with a bull buggy with a vacuum suction on it, and then clean all stuff like this up throughout the year. But it wouldn't be worth it because it doesn't happen very often. But nonetheless, found the problem, gonna fix it. Hopefully that solves my issue. I'll get back to work. Well, upon closer inspection, it's not a bearing. It is actually a hexagon shaped shaft, and it looks like it might have been well, it's completely bare. It's completely round when it should be in hexagon shape. So I'm assuming it happened maybe yesterday. No, not yesterday, the day before yesterday, whenever my dad drove it, whenever the feeder belt ripped on him. I think due to the feeder belt ripped, it had to pull a little bit harder, and then because of that, I think that's when it might have kind of gone bad. And then in that whole process, it got worse and worse, and I drove all day yesterday and it was fine. And I think during driving yesterday, it eventually snapped right at the right time to where when I was quitting at the end of the day, it still worked fine. And then today morning, whenever I started it, then it was just completely gone and shot. So I think it just slowly happened over time. We're gonna fix it though. When we go to the shop here, we actually have more tools, or to my truck actually. I need a couple of darns, maybe even a chisel. No, maybe not a chisel. I need a few tools anyway. I need something that I do not have here in the stripper. So we're gonna take it apart and hopefully get it back up and running today. We should finish this field though pretty quickly. We should have been able to finish it within another hour, but now it might take him like 2 hours because he'll be the only one running here for a while. Hopefully by the time he gets this field done, we'll be able to move to the next field. And after that, after this field, we'll only have 800 acres left. So it's getting close to the end. I hope we can fix this soon. I hope we don't have to have too much downtime, but yeah, time to get after it and get it fixed. Yeah, that's not supposed to be like that. I'd say that's just a little broken. We are fixed and headed back to the field. All right, let's have no more issues, please, and thank you. That's the last of it. That's the only downside about circle track, is whenever you get to the pivot, you're basically turning a 90 degree the entire time, but it works. These short little roads here, they go by pretty quick, that's for sure. Just if you were curious, this right here is where all of our peanuts go to.
Barrel did y'all want?
You can see the big warehouses in the back. That's where they store all the peanuts. One of these days I do want them to give me a tour of that whole place. That would be pretty cool too. But moving. Getting back to it. Normally every year, this is usually our worst field because of how little water there is, but this year with a little extra help of that rain, this cotton actually looks pretty decent for this field anyway. Just about done with another half. This circle that we're doing is about 230 acres. We got a little pie with peanuts. So this half was not quite 115 acres. It was like 80-ish or something like that. So when this half is done, we're gonna move over to the next half, which is about 115 acres. I don't think we'll get it done today, but we will definitely try to see how far we can get it done. and then we'll get back at it tomorrow and hopefully finish before Thanksgiving. That's anyways the plan. All right, we're serviced and ready for tomorrow. We're greased, cleaned. We might need diesel, but shop is pretty close, so we're just gonna do that tomorrow once we finish the seal, of course. But that'll be it for this video. I do appreciate y'all for watching, and I will always see you guys in the next one.